Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we will be studying Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. Together we'll explore the poem stanza by stanza, understand its central ideas, symbolism and major themes, and discover why this timeless work continues to fascinate readers even today. If you prefer learning in Hindi, this video is also available for you to check out in Hindi, so please do that as well. Now let us begin. Stanza 1. The poem opens with the speaker addressing the urn directly, calling it an unravished bride of quietness and a foster child of silence and slow time. Right away, Keats is doing something clever. He is personifying the urn as a bride who has never been touched, meaning it has survived centuries untouched by decay. He also calls it a Sylvian historian, a woodland storyteller, because the images carved on it tell a story better than words ever could. The speaker then looks closely at the scene on the urn and starts asking questions. Who are these figures? Are they gods or mortals? What is this wild chase happening? What are these pipes and drums for? This stanza sets up the entire poem as an act of looking and wondering. The urn shows a frozen moment of pursuit and celebration, and the speaker is trying to piece together the story from static images alone. Stanza 2. Here Keats introduces one of the most famous ideas in the poem, that unheard melodies are sweeter than heard ones. The music being played by the piper on the urn is silent because it's carved in stone, but the speaker argues this silence is actually more beautiful because it appeals not to the physical ear but to the spirit. Then we meet the young lover on the urn, frozen forever beneath the trees, his song eternally unfinished. He is reaching to kiss his beloved but can never actually complete that kiss because he is trapped in the same instant forever. Keats treats this as bittersweet. The lover will never lose his youth or beauty, but he will also never experience fulfillment. It's a trade-off between permanence and completion. Stanza 3. This stanza extends that idea of frozen happiness. The trees can never shed their leaves, the piper will play his song forever, fresh and new, and the two lovers will be forever in love, forever panting, forever young. But then Keats pivots. He contrasts the eternal unchanging love with real human passion, which he describes as leaving behind a heart high sorrowful and cloyed, a burning forehead and a parching tongue. In other words, real love with all its intensity eventually leads to exhaustion, disappointment, sickness, even death. The art on the urn is spared all of that. It's a kind of envy mixed with unease. The art is lucky to be frozen, but frozen also means it never truly lives. Stanza 4. The scene shifts to a different image on the urn, a religious procession. A priest is leading a heifer decorated with garlands towards an altar for sacrifice, and a whole town has emptied out to attend this ritual. The speaker imagines the little town the people came from, and here the poem takes a quiet turn. That town will remain forever empty and silent in the world of the urn, because the artist never carved it. The people left and they can never return, and no one will ever know why the town stands desolate, because that part of the story was never told. This is one of the most poignant moments in the poem. It shows the limits of the art. The urn can preserve a moment forever, but it can also trap something in permanent incompleteness. Stanza 5. In the final stanza, the speaker steps back and addresses the whole urn as an object, an attic shape with fair attitude, covered in carved marble men, maidens, forest branches, and trampled undergrowth. He says the urn teases us out of thought, meaning it puzzles and provokes the mind the way eternity itself does, because it's something outside of ordinary time. The speaker predicts that long after his own generation has aged and died, the urn will still exist, offering the same message to future generations, in the middle of whatever different sorrows they face. And then comes the poem's most beautiful line. Beauty is truth, truth beauty, that is all ye know on earth and all ye need to know. Scholars have argued about whether Keats fully endorses this statement, whether it's the urn speaking or whether it's meant to sound a little too neat or a little too simple. Given everything complicated the poem has just shown us about art's limit. These two lines cover the entirety of John Keats's argument about nature. He believes that the only truth in life is natural beauty. First and most central theme is the relationship between art and permanence versus life and change. The urn represents something frozen in an eternal moment, untouched by time, decay, aging, or death. Human life, in contrast, is defined by change, by love that fades, bodies that age, and passions that eventually exhaust themselves. Keats keeps circling around this tension. Is it better to be preserved forever in a single perfect moment or to actually live, even though living means actually losing everything? Is truth and beauty. tied to that famous closing statement. Keats seems to be suggesting that beauty itself carries a kind of truth, or that the deepest truths we can access are found through beauty rather than logic or philosophy. This has been one of the most contested ideas, and Keats seems to want us to sit with that discomfort rather than resolve it. Finally, there's the theme of silence and stillness as a different kind of communication. Throughout the poem, silence isn't emptiness, it's described as richer and more expressive than sound. The unheard melody, the frozen kiss, the eternal spring, all of these suggest that what is implied or withheld can move us more powerfully than what is fully shown or spoken. John Keats was born in London in 1795, the son of a livery stable keeper. Originally as a surgeon and apothecary, but abandoned medicine to pursue poetry full time, a decision that worried his friends given how financially unstable a poet's life could be. Keats published relatively little in his own lifetime, and much of it was mocked by critics, particularly for what reviewers dismissively called his lower class background and overly sensuous style. Despite this, in 1819 alone, he produced an extraordinary body of work in just a few months, including this ode, Ode to a Nightingale, to Autumn, and several others, now considered among the greatest poems in English language. Tragically, Keats had already contracted tuberculosis by the time he wrote these odes, the same disease that had killed his mother and his younger brother, whom Keats had nursed personally. He died in Rome in 1821 at just 25 years old, having asked that his gravestone bear no name, only the words, "Here lies one whose name was writ in water." Believing his work would be forgotten, instead poems like Ode on a Grecian Urn are now regarded as some of the finest achievements of the Romantic era. I hope you liked this video, and if you enjoyed it, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. This video is also available for you to check out in Hindi, so please do that as well. We'll see you again in the next one.